crafting your brand blueprint to elevate your coaching. What up? It's Dalaney Davis, co-founder of Untapped. Excited, enthusiastic, and passionate about branding, and here to really dive into helping you overcome that fear of self-promotion, helping you really position yourself so you can stand out in your market, even if it's crowded or new, how to attract your dream clients and also repel the not so dream clients. And I'll also give you some step-by-steps on what you need to focus on to start your brand, build your brand, or elevate your brand to that next level to really elevate your impact, elevate your coaching, elevate your thought leadership, all of the things. So I am obsessed with branding. I always have been. Understanding how one product can be the same, but one has a different label on it and therefore it's priced differently or more superior. Or how you can deeply, instantly connect with a thought leader and you almost have no idea why. Why are they so punchy? Why have they just spoken directly to you? Even though you know they are this whole holistic person who might have children, a family, other hobbies, other things, but when they communicate in the thing they do, it's so clear and so punchy and you want to work with them, you're magnetized to them. There's so many little elements of branding, both personal and big brands, that we can learn and leverage to understand not only our ideal clients and how to attract them, but understand how to really stand out in our markets. Firstly, let's dive into the concept of a personal brand versus a brand. Now, starting with a brand, a brand is simply a standalone entity. For us, our brand at Untapped is Untapped. And then under that, we have our personal brands, which is Brian and McKenzie and Dalaney Davis. Now, there are a few benefits to having a brand on top of what you do. One is that it gets to almost evolve in its own trajectory. It gets to be more customer and client-centric, so it can really grow and tailor itself to what our ideal clients and what our customers actually need. Not only that, it is then achievable that other people can then run it because the brand has its own clear values and vision that people are drawn to and attracted to, that other coaches or other thought leaders can then help drive that. It also creates a clear, memorable pathway for people to get to us. They understand, Untapped. It's so easy, it's quick, it's mind. And you can create clear visuals and icons to really connect to that brand and make it stand out. Now, if your dream for your thought leadership practice as a coach or consultant is massive impact, where you want lots of other people delivering your intellectual property, you want a big entity, you want a big movement, then I'd consider building a brand. It really helps you separate healthily from your business. So as I said, it can grow and you can grow. And it enables it to be exitable, so other people can buy your business or buy into your business. And also enables other people to then deliver your content. Now, alternatively, there is a personal brand. Now, a personal brand is your name. It is directly correlated to you. And there's a few elements to this as well to really navigate. Firstly, there's that building from the beginning under a personal brand is what I highly recommend because it is so much easier to build knowing, like, and trust. It is so much easier to connect with your ideal clients, to connect to those people you know you're here to help. Because at the end of the day, as a thought leader or a coach, you are the one helping them. So really knowing that a part of having a personal brand and getting over those fears of promoting yourself and putting yourself out there is critical to really have the impact you know you're here to have. Because at the end of the day, people want to do business with people, not necessarily brands and logos. Say your journey through working with Untapped is you may find Untapped, connect with Untapped, but then you might make a purchase decision or invest in one of our programs or courses because you've connected with one of us, right? Because at the end of the day, people want to do business with people. So it's important to really put this in your repertoire that you essentially want to have both. How can you build a standalone brand as a company, or you can also do, say, your program. Like say you run a leadership program and it's like, elite leadership program. That in itself can become a brand and it is founded by your name. So that way you can start really distinguishing them and start growing them. So there's a few levels there. You can have a brand that's a big business. You can have your program or courses as their own standalone brand, and then you can have your personal brand. And I believe personally that how you can navigate and grow all three is critical. And my recommendation to all our clients all the time is this, is do all three. And it doesn't have to be equality. It doesn't have to be all at once. It doesn't have to be one post about the brand, one personal post, one post about the program, or one website for your personal brand, one website for your business. No, it can all kind of flow. It doesn't have to be all doing every piece of marketing all the time. So super, super important. The other thing is when you really start building on these brands and really connect them deeply to what they stand for, both as their vision, their values, the villain they stand for or repel against, and really connect to that consistency, you'll start naturally attracting your ideal clients and repelling your not so ideal clients. This is one of the core pillars of branding, is that it can really help you magnetize those dream clients by ensuring that it's deeply connected and aligned to your values, right? So it's one of the very first things to do to start building a brand is understand your core values. What is it that you do? How do you do them? And why do you do them? That is what you should build your core brand around. Say, for example, you love helping people. Then part of your brand, part of what you do should really lean in and align to this. You can see how someone, say, photography for their website would differ from someone who cares about helping people to someone who cares about learning. Someone who cares about helping people, say their stock imagery or the type of imagery they use for their brand, should show them literally helping people on a Zoom call, at a cafe, talking to someone, helping someone. With someone whose values is more about the knowledge and learning side of their thought leadership business, then their ideal photo should probably be around, look at my stack of books, look at me speaking on a stage, and really emphasizing that core value, that true value of what it is you stand for, whether it be knowledge, helping people, getting people in action, creating an impact. How can you translate that into the imagery around your brand? This will naturally attract and repel people who are not right for your programs or courses, or just you don't want to work with. So it's really, really, really important. One of the biggest objections that come through the untapped space and the untapped community around branding is this fear of self-promotion, this fear of putting yourself out there. And one of my favorite one-liners around this is, how can you change the world if no one can see or hear you? How can you change the world if no one can see or hear you? You must, if you have a message on your heart, if you have an energy to help people, you must. It's your duty. So how can you get out of your own way and get into the lives of others to truly make an impact? A few distinctions here to really help you overcome this fear of promotion. And one is that social media is a black hole. Social media is both intriguing, exciting, and repelling all at once. And there's this great distinction I learned many moons ago that really helped differentiate the difference between an influencer and an entrepreneur. And spoiler alert, we're entrepreneurs. You're an entrepreneur. You're not an influencer. So an influencer, all they care about is likes, comments, and engagement. Because at the end of the day, their dopamine hit is through audience growth. Now, this is important to understand that their objective is likes, comments, and engagement. So when you're learning about social media, when you see all these people with millions of social media followings and all of that, that's exactly all they have. They have followers, likes, and comments. They don't have really generating that much money. They're not really have a business or a true connection to who they're serving and who they're helping in the background. It's just this audience they communicate at. So be conscious of where you take social media advice from, because a lot of these people, their objective, their goal is just likes, comments, and engagement and followers, right? Where we are entrepreneurs. We're not here for likes, comments, and engagements. We're here to add value. We're here to change people's lives. We're here to create clients and create results for people to really transform their relationships, their money, their jobs, their career, their businesses, whatever it is. We're there to create an impact. So our version of social media needs to be different. Rather than just trending shit to get likes and comments engagement, we need to build knowing, like, trust as a personal brand. We need to add value clearly on what it is we help people with, and we need to make offers, be it that sharing with them the next call to action. Now, under our value flow method at Untapped, part of that personal brand is your channel, social media, whatever, should lead people to your free value, your lead gen, your podcast, your long form content. That is all that offer really is. And if you can really stand in that I'm an entrepreneur, I'm here to share me, you, value, and an offer. Just those three core pillars, you, value, offer. Sharing that on your social media in that order, and your personal brand, your brands will flourish. Next is really ensuring you're creating content that you like to consume. So this is one of the easiest hurdles to get over. If you're a natural writer, you love writing, then ensure you put emphasis on your captions. Ensure you're writing long form content. Ensure you're writing like maybe carousel posts that people swipe through. And that is how you build your personal brand. Or maybe it's even Twitter or LinkedIn, whatever it is. Choose your channel, one channel, and choose your Whether you're a writer, you're naturally good at speaking, you're good in front of a camera, maybe you're good at speaking, but you don't want to be on camera. So maybe a podcast, and you don't need to go to this whole video podcast route. But create how you like to consume. Create how you like to consume. This is one of the easiest ways to really be authentic and to really connect with your brand and who you're here to serve with. Because how you create is how your ideal client wants to consume, because they're probably like you. So remember that, is create how you like to consume. And this really leads me on to that other one, is like your authenticity is the key. So again, connecting to that, how you want to consume content is how you should create it. Don't feel like you need to get on this video trend or this blog writing trend or whatever it is. Stick to your guns, stick to what you're naturally good at. And that authenticity of really communicating and showing up how you best, are authentically, naturally, is your superpower. Really creating for either yourself, your best friend, or that person you really needs to hear it, is that authentically communicating to one person through your self-expression, through overcoming that fear of self-promotion, is by communicating to one person. Communicate to your past self. Really get a photo of your ideal client, someone you've worked with in the past, someone you absolutely love, and just be like, what do they need to hear today? And just communicate to them. Don't worry about the noise. Don't worry about how many eyeballs are on social media, whatever it is. Just create for that one person, because that's how you help more people. I give this example where a lot of people, when they're sharing on social media, they are speaking to a huge room. And what happens is they end up being vague and no one can really hear them. Now, if you've ever been to a party or a networking event or hanging out at a dinner party, what happens when you hear your name? Your ears burn, you perk up. You go, did someone say Dalaney? Did someone say Kate? Did someone say Sarah? Your ears burn. And this is why creating specific, tailored content is super important. That speaks directly to that ideal client, that one person you want to talk to's real pain, real problem, and real desire, because their ears will burn. They will go, holy cow, they're talking directly to me. Rather than some blanket inspirational quote or some random content that's just so vague and so open-ended that people can't really read it because it's not really for them. So creating for that one specific person, that deep connection you have with someone you're here to impact, will really help you overcome this fear of self-promotion, because you'll be tapping in to the true conversation, deep level of conversations you want to have with people. And not only that, they will be able to actually read it. Go through any content you've ever created and look at the ones that really pop off. I guarantee it's super specific. It's maybe a specific problem for a specific person, and you're sharing a specific way or a novel way on how to achieve that result. This is the key to really growing and connecting with an audience and building that brand, is that connection. The other thing to really get over this self-promotion is this chronic fear of needing to create new, innovative, groundbreaking concepts every single time. And this is actually not the case for entrepreneurs, thought leaders on social media. For influencers, sure, they probably like to be like, they're really boring. They share the same stuff over and over again. Never mind, but it's that novelty versus consistency. And when it comes to building this thought leadership businesses, you honestly have to repeat yourself. Because think about this. Say a new follower just followed you on Instagram. And this weird thing happens where we assume they already know our epiphany bridge. They already know our origin story. We assume they already know our values. We assume they already know what we do and how we do it. And then we just keep posting new and novel stuff that's kind of irrelevant to them because they've only just joined our journey. They've only just started, say, their quest to better their relationship or their quest to sort their money out or improve their business. They've only just started that quest and you're already talking over here. So it's super important that you really understand your ideal client, this dream person, that one person you're connected to, and ensure that you're looping on the same concepts. Ensure that you're looping on your unique method, those core things they need in order to solve the problem they have. You're constantly reintroducing yourself, or you have a clear one-liner that you might say to really just punch it on who you are. You know, like, hey, I'm Dalaney. I help coaches connect with their lead gen strategies and their marketing strategies so they can really grow and expand the impact they're here to have. Here's this cool thing I just discovered over here about using ChatGPT to do XYZ, right? So like ensuring that you're constantly reintroducing yourself and what you do so you can connect with those new people. So repeat yourself. One of my golden pillars in content marketing for our students is having your 30 core pieces of content that you just rinse and repeat. And these can evolve and change over time, as you might see, like this one is more relevant, this one is definitely connecting more with my ideal client, and just really rinsing and repeating. Because ultimately, it takes about 9 months for someone to really understand who you are, what you do, and how you do it. So it's important that you continually repeat yourself and create that mirror exposure effect, which is also an important psychological phenomenon to build knowing, liking, and trust, and also really deeply connecting to what it is you do and how you do it. So please, for the love of God, repeat yourself. So again, this is kind of my core pillars on how to overcome that fear of self-promotion, is really understanding the different goals and objectives between an entrepreneur and an influencer. Create how you consume. So really building that content that you like to consume because it's effortless for you and you like doing it. Your authenticity is the key. So really connecting with and just showing yourself fully who you are, what you're here to do, and ignore the noise. Creating for that one person that you're deeply connected to. And please, for the love of God, do not be afraid to repeat yourself. You should get bored of your content before anyone else will. And you will get bored of your content before anyone else does. So it's super important to connect to that. These are some of my core pillars that I help our clients to really overcome that fear of self-promotion. Some more things if you're really just starting to build your brand or you're really ready to elevate your brand is there's a few core things to really help understand what a brand is and how to really grow it. The first thing that all a brand really is to build trust. And the easiest way to build trust is just consistency. If you're just starting out or you've maybe dropped off the bandwagon a little bit on social media and you're ready to get back on it, is choosing a cadence of how much you want to be on there. Whether it's just once a week or every day or once a month, whatever it is, ensuring that whatever time frame you choose for yourself that works for you is consistent. Now, some people go, no, you need to be on there every day, rah, rah, rah. Bollocks. It's all about consistency. Some of my favorite email newsletters from people I follow, they come once a month, but they come every month. So I have trust with that person because they're consistent. Where some people email you every day or they show up on social media every day and you just kind of gloss over it. You're like, yeah. But some people want that. Some people want that depth. So it's really understanding how you want to show up on social media and understand the ideal client. So that first core pillar of branding is consistency. The next one is values, and really having at least 3 core values that you stand for on how you show up, how you communicate, how you present yourself, whatever it might be. Say a really good distinction here in values could simply be like you want professionalism versus you want relaxed. That's a value. So your content might be, walking down the street and you just whip up your phone and share a story. Or it might be, no, I want professional, I want the best, so I'm going to have a full setup with the lights, camera, whole shebang, right? That is a value that you need to be consistent to in how you create content. So it's really understanding those values. The other is really connecting to how you want to make content. Really connecting to those values again. Are you there to teach? Are you there to inspire? Are you there to engage? Those are kind of the 3 ones you can really do to create content. So choosing that value in terms of your content. Are you there to teach? Engage. Are you there to teach, engage, or inspire? The next core pillar is your epiphany bridge. Now, this is your origin story. This is answering that burning question in people's head is, why should I listen to you? If people just landed on their social media, on your social media, their primary question is, why should I follow this person? Who are they? If you're jumping on a stage or jumping on a podcast, the first thing people ask is, who is this person? Why should I listen to them? So you have to give context through your origin story. Be it that not, I'm so successful, I'm so amazing, this is why you should follow me. But hey, this is where I was where you were. This is the journey I went through, and this is where I am now. If you want to go on this journey, if you want to transform, from overweight to fit, from on the brink of divorce to a loving relationship, to no money to financially secure, to a flailing business, to a 6-figure business, that is the journey you must share, and that is your epiphany bridge. And this is a critical piece of storytelling that you need on your social media, in your bio, on your website, everywhere, is that epiphany bridge. The next one is really having that thing you're taking a stand for. That, and said another way, the villain of your work. Why you do what you do. You've got to take a stand for something. You've got to have a villain. You've got to have something you're against. Say, for example, it could be like, say you're a nutritionist, it might be processed food. Like, that's your villain, and you always villainize it. You say, stop eating processed food is bad. Or the villain might be like different people starting the wrong stage in their business at the wrong time. So for example, one of my villains is people that think that branding and websites, funny I'm talking about branding right now, but as a website is the most important thing before actually doing market research, designing their core offer and really connecting to their vision and values, and then beta testing before they even touch a website, right? Like my villain is people doing the wrong stage of business at the wrong time. So understanding what you stand for, what you're against. Maybe it's bad management. Maybe it's bad money management. Like just really connect to that villain and ensure you're sharing it in some way, shape, form. Now, the next one is your vision. Where are you taking people? What's the vision for humanity, for their relationships, for their money, for their fitness, whatever it is that you stand for? What is the vision that you're holding for them? Now, this vision can be your transformation, right? Again, connected to that, why that story is so important. Well, the vision could be where you want to take this community, like a million empowered women with their finances, right? What's the vision? Where can people get behind you to help enroll other people in what you're doing, to help really grow their vision with you? And then again, really connecting to the value. Now, this is not values, this is value. So that knowledge transfer, that thing you're sharing, how are you doing it? That's the core pillar of a brand. People need to understand like, I learn from this brand. I get inspired by this brand, or I get to engage in a community in this brand. It's really connecting to that value that you bring. And this is the core of any brand, right? Is having consistency, knowing your values and communicating them, sharing your unique story, your epiphany bridge, having something you're taking a stand for, having a clear vision, and adding values. I think that's 6, right? 6 cores. This is super, super critical to really going above and beyond and really connecting and creating that amazing audience that builds knowing, liking, and trust for you and says yes when you make offers for webinars, podcast talks, sales calls, programs, courses, you name it. These are some of the core pillars. Now, I'm going to give you a few little tips and tactics here just for fun, just to really put this in a bow and get you in action. One of my favorite ones to really overcome fear of personal branding and putting yourself out there is choosing what I call 2 hashtags. Now, what I mean by that is connecting to your values, and rather than feeling like you need to put your whole life on social media, every meal you had, every workout you do, every call you're on, every book you read, every self-care routine you have, every conversation you have, every person you meet, whatever, is just choosing 2. Now, for me, my 2 hashtags are adventures. So every time I travel, you'll see it probably on my story. And every time I'm learning something, never stop learning, right? So I simply just share those 2 things. And then maybe a sub one might be for the gym for me, right? But it's just those 3 things. So choosing for yourself, based on your values, what are just 2 things about my personal life that I'm going to share it on my stories or on my social media, right? It could be things you care about. It could be your family. It could be photos like your family adventure. It could be your self-care routine. What are things that you directly care about that is just a fraction of your life? It doesn't have to be a whole life. One of my mentors, I was absolutely blown away that all his stories was just getting his nails done. And I was like, that's strange. Why is that only the thing you share about your personal life? And he simply said well, that's the one thing his ideal clients want. is they want time and the freedom to have someone come to their home and give them a manicure. So that's what I share. And that's also what he does. So he does like it as well. So it's completely authentic to who he is. But I found that interesting. It's really choosing those two things that directly connect to you and your brand and your ideal client, and just sharing those things. The other one is crucial, as I already said it, but I'm going to say it again because it's relevant, is repeat yourself. Repeat yourself often. That makes it so easy. Create how you want to create and really get your content out there, get your magic in there. And if you're just starting out as well, and you're wondering how can I tap into this consistency, it's choosing a time. And then it's just say jumping on Canva and just choosing like 2 colors and 2 fonts. And that's all you use, right? Or say you just want to screenshot your notes. Just always do that and just stay consistent with the visual element of how you do it. And really connect to those values as well and just sharing those elements for you. How to know if you should build a brand or a personal brand as well. Another favorite question of mine is if you want to write a book, you should build a personal brand, definitely. If you've got no interest in like thought leadership and the element, then maybe this industry isn't for you. And maybe just a brand will work. Importance of storytelling, epiphany bridges, super critical. That's how you craft your brand blueprint. That's how you craft your brand blueprint to elevate your coaching, elevate your impact, and impact more lives, magnetize dream clients, repel not so good ones. And yeah, let me know on social media what you liked, what resonated with you, and love your work. D.